okay, we're seeing, at first it was just like, I was going to say the term moon boys. I don't mean like, Hex is going to hit $20 this cycle. I mean, moon boys, like literal lunar stuff, like you were mentioning a moment ago, Ewok. So
Yeah.
we're hearing the moon boys. We're hearing the whatever. Look, I don't understand it all. It's not something that I am invested in, but the Jewish holiday stuff and everything and how it's going to line up. Everybody, and everywhere from that to like Altcoin Daily now tweeting stuff about like, hey, September is going to be bad because it always has been. I always think in a contrarian mindset with anything. It goes back to the I think sports betting in me back in the day too. But if everybody is leaning on September being just this blood month, it's making me feel like is it really going to be that likely if every single person is expecting it? So I want to get your take on this. I mean, we did just see that pump up, which was definitely like a news thing, what just happened, and I'm willing to admit that. I'm not saying that we're going to see this sustained pump necessarily. But I'm just less willing to believe that September is going to be terrible because, well, everybody seems to believe that. So what do you think? And that leads us to, I didn't even mention the poll, but I just put a poll question in the chat tonight. Will we see new pulse chain lows in September? So far, it's almost even. Wow, actually, the majority are saying yes. To my point, 55% are saying yes, 45% no. So what do you think, Ewok? Not just about pulse chain, we'll talk about that, but I mean, what do you think about the probability of having a bad September when I think it's been if the stat I saw is correct, like 6 or 7 years in a row, it's been a red month for BTC in September. So what do you think?
I honestly think sellers are starting to get exhausted. It's the sentiment that I'm kind of starting to see. I don't think September is going to be a blood month. I think it's going to be another boring month. A lot of times we say, March and April are usually kind of bearish as well. And that usually goes back to tax time. People are selling some profits to pay their bills or do whatever. And traditionally, September has been a rough kind of month. Not always the greatest, but I'm starting to see exhaustion. I don't know if we're there quite yet, but it is kind of bullish, from what I'm gathering. But I don't know if I voted on it too. I don't think we see another low. I think we could, like I said, double tap, triple tap that low that we already have. I don't know that it goes much further. But that's just my opinion. Total speculation at this point.
Well, there we go. We got Chaos Theory in the chat. Johnny Chaos chiming in to say that September is going to be a green candle. I mean, I tend to agree with them. I mean, there's just so many people expecting the opposite of that we usually don't get what we want when everybody is thinking the same thing. So that's as far as my logic goes. I'm not going to act like I have any kind of answer here or anything. But hey, the thing is, though, I mean, regardless of that, yeah, it would
be nice. Yeah.
You're right. And it's a fun little side bet to make or whatever, but you want to be prepared for both scenarios. If we would get a modest dip, a major dip, a pump, whatever it may be, just make sure that you're going to feel comfortable no matter what happens. I mean, look, a lot of us don't have any money left. I mean? Like a lot of us are in the market. There's been dip at the dip of the dip of the dip. And that's just where we're at right now. And it's just kind of like waiting on your monthly income or whatever at this point to DCA if you can. So keep your head on a swivel. I mean, that's really what it is. Yeah, I tend to think that we'll probably I would like to see pulse chain kind of get up, and it was kind of frozen to that 50% below the SAC rate there for a couple of weeks. It'd be nice to see us kind of return up to there. I'd like to see some more relative strength with Pulse X. I don't know if we're going to get that in the near future as it's just gotten weaker. But yeah, I tend to think that the crowd will be wrong in September. So any other thoughts on that?
No, I hope so. I hope you're right. It is fun to play the contrarian, but you have to be realistic too. Like you said, just have some money set aside. If you are DCAing this time, have some money ready to go and make a move that you're comfortable with. It goes down, great. If it starts to take off, you might want to jump in. Just don't do it all at once because it could always pull back. I don't know if you guys remember the original run up that Hex had. It dipped 50, 60, 70, 80% about 8 or 9 times on the way up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are always pullbacks. They're always, they tend to fake people out. But just be ready for it and make moves accordingly.